I'm not God. What I told the members of parliament, and it's true today as it was then, to listen to the ground and stop following President William Ruto blindly against the wishes of the people.
Then why were you picking small fights?
Let me explain to you. They are not small fights. It's the president who is calling them small fights. Advising members of parliament to listen to the ground is not a small fight. It's a very honorable duty for a leader of my caliber. I listened to the people. The people did not want the finance bill 2024. And I told the members of parliament, people do not want the finance bill. Don't follow the president blindly. He will leave you kwamata. And if you people don't adjust by this December and start listening to the people of the Mount Kenya region make decisions the second year of election. And I was telling them from my experience, by the end of this year in December, if you guys have not aligned yourself with the people and listened to the people are crying about over taxation. The people are saying they don't want house, they afford.
Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, that shirt has seen better days. Mara, it's your faded shirt. Mara, it's your faded roof.
Look at our roof from Mabati Rolling Mills. Still as vibrant after all these years. Unlike your shirt.
Yes, MRM steel roofing tiles are made using advanced color coating technology that makes the color last.
The tiles are even wider, so you use less pieces.
Which saved us money.
So you mean Mabati Rolling Mills saves you money?
Yeah!
Steal the show with versatile, oriental and elegant tile steel roofing tiles. Backed by a genuine warranty only from Mabati Rolling Mills. Visit a dealership or call us today at 0788 202020.
Kila safari huanza na ndoto. Ndoto za kufanikiwa maishani. Ndoto za kufanikiwa kibiashara. Ndoto za kufanikiwa kimaendeleo. For 4 decades, we have been your trusted partner, witnessing the achievements of each generation. As we celebrate 40 years, our promise is to be with you for life. Tufanikishe zaidi.
We should hate him. And we listened to William Ruto and he persuaded us. 5 years down the line, Uhuru Kenyatta is gone. William Ruto, the one who said who is incompetent, has come on stage. The education system that was working when Uhuru Kenyatta was there is finished. Children at home. The health system has crumbled. People are overtaxed. Nothing is working in the country. Yet, at that time, he had persuaded us that Uhuru Kenyatta is an incompetent man, is a drunkard, is a leader not worth talking about. He came and persuaded us that our enemy as a region is Raila Odinga, who is a witch doctor. And since Uhuru Kenyatta has brought him, and Uhuru Kenyatta does not mean well for us, we should hate Uhuru Kenyatta and trust William Ruto to carry our destiny. We believed him. He's very good in driving narratives. So when he came to the mountain, he needed to drive a narrative against Rigathi Gachagua, thinking that the people are as gullible as they were then. And he was confident that if he could successfully drive a narrative against Uhuru Kenyatta when he was president, he could equally drive a narrative against Rigathi Gachagua. And he cobbled this narrative of 10 billion. The purpose was to show the people of the Mount Kenya region, this Gachagua guy is a very selfish man.
So did you or did you not blackmail the president?
Of course I did not blackmail the president, because if I did, Rogers,
yes,
it would have been accusation number 1 before the Senate.
Impeachment.
This impeachment was crafted by William Ruto. It was drafted by the National Intelligence Service and Professor Kindiki. And the president even had blackmailed him. Blackmail is a criminal offense. It should have been accusation number 1. It did not appear anywhere. Since October 18, the president has never talked about it
until he came to the mountain. And the president had better make up his mind why he ordered me out of office. When he went to Western Kenya, he said he got rid of me because I was incompetent and tribal. He never told the people of Western Kenya asking for 10 billion. When he went to Northeastern Kenya, he said he got rid of me because I'm divisive and I don't like the unity of the country. When he went to Nyanza, he said that I am primitive, and corrupt. When he came to the mountain, he never said I'm tribal because he cannot say that. He never said I'm incompetent because he cannot do that.
Okay.
He said that I was asking for 10 billion. In fact, on Thursday morning, he met Madeira women dancers. There is a group of 1,000 women that I put together to dance for Uhuru Kenyatta, and then I handed them out to William Ruto. Most of them are friends of my late mother. Others are women who have educated their children from Form 1 up to university. My friends. He met them and told them, huyu Rigathi wenu alikuwa anaitisha mimi bilioni 10. Na nikaona kuliko kule peke yake, nimfukuse hii pesa nigawe na nyinyi nyote. So leo mtakula hii pesa ningepatia Rigathi. Those women, he gave them each 8,000 shillings. That is 8 million shillings. And he gave another 2 million shillings towards the funeral of their child who has died. And the women called me and said, this man is a liar. Because we know you. During the 2022 elections, Roger, William Ruto picked me as running mate because of my mobilization skills and my capacity to mobilize resources. Everybody knows I'm not a poor man. I was in a lot of trouble with the fourth administration because of funding William Ruto. The fourth administration froze my accounts so that I stopped funding William Ruto. The fourth administration blocked all my businesses so that I stopped giving money to William Ruto. I put serious money into his campaign. I am not the kind of man to go asking William Ruto to give me any money. In any case, let me ask you a question. William Ruto should make up his mind how much money I'm supposed to have asked. His chief propagandist, that is Itombe, wrote, and it's there, I have a copy, I will give it to you.
I remember, yes.
That I'm asking for 6.5 billion. Okay?
Sure.
His Mr. Fix-It, Kimani Ichongwa, went to Europe in an interview and said, I'm asking for 8 billion. William Ruto says, I'm asking for 10 billion. Between his Mr. Fix-It and his chief propagandist and William Ruto, can't they sit down and agree the figure that Rigathi Gachagua is supposed to have asked for? So, I want to explain to you that there is nothing like that. It was just a narrative he wanted to bring to the mountain because he needed to explain to them. Because he committed himself that he would never humiliate his deputy. He went beyond got rid of me. He needed something to tell the people of the mountain. But of course, everybody knows it's a lie. Because if that was true, it should have come in the impeachment. Again, let me tell you, Rogers.
But I have to ask you, because you're equally on record in public mentioning that President William Ruto offered you 2 billion Kenya shillings to resign ahead of the impeachment in October.
Yes.
So isn't that a counter-narrative?
No. I talked before. He talked the other day. Okay. I have not talked after he has talked.
So your claims are true?
I said he talked to me. He sent a very senior officer in government. When he called me myself when we disagreed and said, I cannot work with you. I would like you to resign. And if you don't, I'll impeach you. And later on in the interview, I'll tell you why we disagreed. And he said, instead of you going home empty-handed, and since you assisted me, I would like you to go with your retirement package and I can get you some money to get you started off, like 1.5, 2 billion. I told him to go to hell. I'm not interested. I'm priceless. And that kind of money, you know I have. You know how much I funded your campaign. I am not a man to be given 2 billion shillings. You know what the kind of money I am into. And therefore, I said, fine. He sent a very senior officer to come and see me. On Thursday, when the National Assembly resolved that I should be impeached by going to the Senate, that Friday morning, he sent a very senior officer to come and see me. And he gave me his terms. And against my ethics, because I don't record people, I recorded that conversation, giving me that offer from the president. I have that record. Okay?
So the senior official was speaking for the president?
Yeah, he sent me. The following day.
But you know the burden of proof lies with the accuser. We need to see this.
No problem. The following day, he told the officer I should go and have a discussion with him. And I refused to go to State House. He suggested I go to his hotel, the Western Hotel. I refused. And we met somewhere along State House, one of the safe houses by the National Intelligence Service. And between me, that officer and myself, we had a discussion with the president. Again, I recorded that conversation for posterity because I know William Ruto. I put it on record. Again, he gave me that offer. I told him I'll think about it. I didn't want to have a fight with him because it was not necessary. That officer persuaded me that I should listen to the president. And because he's a man from home, he said, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, just listen to what he has to say.
Who is this officer?
No, I don't want to.
For the sake of our public, you call for an interview, you have to.
Let me explain. So I said no, I declined. The day I went to the Senate, the first day, that officer again was dispatched by the president. And I refused to see him, but after consultation with my counsels, I agreed to see him. Again, he brought me another offer. I recorded it. I am very conflicted. That officer is an innocent man. He's an emissary of the president. He is in service. If I expose him now, he will lose his job. He will be in very difficult circumstances. So on discussion with my family and lawyers, we have agreed that when he retires, and it's not very long from now, we'll be able to release that information. And I have done that because I know his family and I don't want to jeopardize his position. And because he did not come on his free will, he serves the president and he cannot be able to argue with him. I'll have that information. It is ready, it's well stored. And I would like to tell these people not to try to come and read here to get it. It's not here. I've stored it nicely with somewhere, and it's in good position.
Allow me to reel you in, because you're a truthful man, as you say. At the end of the day, if you're giving us allegations, you have to substantiate.
I don't understand. I have told you, because when the president went to that interview, he was asked to substantiate. He refused to substantiate. I have done a lot of substantiation. I've explained to you why I don't want to receive the information now. But I will release the information because it's for public information, so that between me and the president, the people can know who is right and who is not right and who is lying to the people of Kenya.
You know what your critics are saying?
Yeah.
Since you heavily funded the presidential campaigns in the Mount Kenya region, that you're asking of this 10 billion, or is it 6.5 billion, whichever the figure, was simply a way of returning your investment. You well know how politics in Kenya
I don't think so, because when I was funding the president, there was no issue. If I needed my money back from him or whatever it is, we'll discuss. I have not asked the president to refund me any money. I'm a leader. That was an investment in the presidential campaign. He was president, I was running it. I too had a responsibility, to spend money on the campaign. And that's why I'm saying I'm not the kind of person to ask him for money. And he knows that, because I'm an astute businessman who have worked for many years and made my own money. And I was in the campaign on my own violation. The president did not force me to be the campaign. I spent my money because I thought it's the right thing to do. I mobilized resources from friends, and I did not ask him. And if I had asked him, he should have said then. He cannot say now, 6 months after. He would have called a meeting of UDA, the PG, put me to task and say, Rigathi here is asking me for this. He would have called some elders, some church people. He never did any of those things, because that is how you do those things.
Okay.
But myself, when he offered me an offer to resign, I talked about it. I did not waste time. I talked about it because that is the situation.
But it's still a narrative. We'd like to substantiate this claim, sir.
I have told you what I need to tell you. And the long and short of it all is that the president wanted to create a narrative with the mountain. And you see, these mountain people are looking at him very closely, because The things he said about me are not the things he is saying today. Okay? When he said I should be his running mate in Karen on May 15th, he had this to say. There were so many other instruments. I looked at many things. I looked at what was required of a deputy president. In the end, we all settled as a team on Gachagua because he's an astute debater, a fantastic grassroots mobilizer, a disciplined and tireless political operative, a successful elected politician and businessman, a principled politician of tremendous resilience and fearless fighter for the right cause, an indefatigable champion. Gachagua is a self-made man, a politician of repute, and a public servant whose sole goal is to help others. Gachagua is a very passionate leader, a people's person. He speaks about the ordinary people and is concerned about matters to do with farmers. What I like about him is his passion for people issues. He's one of those leaders who are passionate about ordinary people. He's a living example of a true hustler. Then the president is here telling the people of the mountain, the man you gave me is a blackmailer. He goes to Western, he says man is a tribalist. He goes to Nyanza, he says this man is a primitive. Give me a break. You are talking to the same people. These same people are the ones he talked to when he wanted my services. When he wanted me to mobilize the mountain people. When he wanted to take advantage of my oratory skills to mobilize votes for him. When he wanted me to articulate people-based issues. Yet, when I say don't demolish houses for innocent people, he says I'm fighting his government. Yet, he was saying I stand for people issues. So I am saying that the mountain people, you can condemn once. You can't condemn twice. What they are saying, William Ruto, you successfully persuaded us to fight our own son, Uhuru Kenyatta. Please, you cannot persuade us to fight Rigathi Gachagua because we now know you. You came and told us that Uhuru Kenyatta is bad because he is working with Raila Odinga, and Raila Odinga is a very mad man and a very dangerous man, the Lord of Poverty. Today, you are working with Raila Odinga, singing praises for him everywhere. Then the mountain people are looking at him and saying, is this the same man who made us hate Uhuru Kenyatta because he was working with Raila Odinga? Today, he is singing praises for Raila Odinga, taking him all over Africa to be the king of Africa. Right. And he wants us now to believe him, that Rigathi Gachagua wanted 10 billion from him. Is this not the same man who came here and told us that Uhuru Kenyatta is a drunkard? Is he not the same man? Now he is here again, telling us that our son, Rigathi Gachagua, is incompetent. Our son, Justin Muturi, is incompetent. Our son, Moses Kuria, is corrupt. Our son, Metheka Linturi, is corrupt. Mr. President, I have no capacity to advise you. Nobody can fool the mountain people twice. You fooled them once, they feel very sorry about it. They actually feel very low and very down. I want to assure you, your tricks are now known, your games are known. You will never again in your lifetime make the people of the mountain fight their son or their daughter. They will never do it. You made us hate Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay. You made us humiliate him. You told us bad things about him that were not true. You said he was incompetent. You are the one who is incompetent now. It is very clear for everybody. Everybody is incompetent except you. Even now you are saying you are new, Mr. Esa is very competent. You are the only one who is competent. Everybody else who disagrees with you, everybody else who has a problem with your modus operandi, anybody else who has a problem with your leadership is incompetent. Okay. You are the only competent person in this country.
So, and with all due respect, we'll treat what you've said earlier on as allegations because you still haven't substantiated them. I have to ask you this because it's a multi-pronged question. When exactly did your friendship, your working relationship with President William Ruto start, and when did the rain start beating it?
Probably before we come to that, you said that he said I fight small people. I don't fight anybody. He says that I was fighting Farouk Kibet. Farouk Kibet is not a small man. He is a co-president in this country. Farouk Kibet runs the government. Everybody reports to him. The Inspector General of Police, the head of public service, cabinet ministers. William Ruto issues instructions to cabinet ministers through Farouk Kibet. Ministers tremble at his very sight. So, Farouk Kibet wanted to give instructions to Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua was elected by the people of Kenya alongside William Ruto. There is no way I would have allowed Farouk Kibet to give instructions to me. And let me tell you, Rogers, Farouk Kibet was trying to run my office, make appointments for people to come and see me. And initially, I thought it's okay, maybe that's how William Ruto wants us to work. Until I learned that Farouk Kibet was collecting money from people to come and see me, and I have nothing to give them in return. And I went and I told the president, Mr. President, I'm your principal assistant. Please, your personal assistant cannot give me instructions. And if you want to give me any instructions, you give them yourself and I obey them to the letter. But you cannot use your PA to order me around. And your PA is taking advantage to make money from people. And I told you, Mr. President, for your information, because I'm your advisor in this matter, I will be failing in my duty if I don't advise you and tell you what is happening.
Okay.
All the people Farouk Kibet is clearing to come and see you, he's collecting money. And there's hue and cry in town. And State House is getting very disrespected because it has become a center of corruption. All appointments of people coming to see you, Kibet is collecting money. And Mr. President, I think you need to check this. But if you want to continue with it, tell him to keep off my office. He is not going to make appointments in my office, and he cannot tell me whom to see.
So can you substantiate this? Farouk Kibet is not here to defend himself.
But the president raised a matter. You asking me for an answer?
Yes, yes.
See, I must give you an answer.
But
I'm not the one. I've never raised that issue.
Okay.
It's the president who raised the matter. I'm answering to the people of Kenya.
Countering what you've said.
But I'm
you've
saying,
said that he's the one.
But I'm saying, Rogers, the president said that I'm fighting with small people. The answer is that Farouk Kibet is not a small person.
So you're fighting big people. Fine.
I was not fighting big people.
Yes.
I was telling the president, I'm elected. I'm not going to take instructions from your personal assistant. And I'm not going to allow him to push corruption in my office. If you want him to practice corruption in your office, you can go ahead.
But you just said he was collecting money for people to meet with you.
I learned the few people he had asked me to see. Later on, I heard noise in town that people are going to see the deputy president. Farouk has collected money on his behalf and he's not doing anything for us. That is when I got alarmed. I faced Kibet and he told me off. He said, I must make money. Hii serikali tumetafuta, mimi nimeumia na William Ruto miaka mingi. And actually when I talked to the president about Farouk Kibet, he said, wewe achana na Farouk atafute pesa kidogo ya kukula bana. Hii mtu ameumia na mimi miaka mingi, akipata hapa kidogo kidogo yuko makosa gani? So, I'm telling you, when the president said that I'm fighting small people, that is a man who is running the country, you know? And everybody trembles. I'm the only man who would tell him off.
Okay.
When he says that I'm fighting small people, I don't know Itumbi. You can see the things he was writing about me. And Dennis Itumbi is the chief propagandist for William Ruto. Again, he's not a small man. This government of William Ruto is run by Itumbi and Farouk. This Itumbi, all these statements you see ministers issuing, like the one DCI has issued about the violence yesterday in Mweki. It's Dennis who crafts them. He crafts the messages, and you can see even that is language. He gives them to read. And my problem with that so-called small man is that they work in cohort with the president. And he hangs around State House. And if you have a discussion with the president and he doesn't like the way it is going, he sends him a text, and Dennis walks into the president's office and says, Mr. President, you are late for the next meeting. And the president brings the meeting to a closure. I had not realized that until I studied, I saw there is a pattern. And any time I had many issues with the president that were not pleasant, I would face him and say, this is not right, this is not good, and I would win the argument, and he doesn't like it, and he would like to bring a meeting to a closure. Somehow Dennis walks in, and I saw a pattern. So one day we were launching, the president was going to sign. He was going to sign the housing levy law, bill into law. And I was with the president in his office, the two of us, and I had a very hot conversation with him. And I was telling Mr. President, Kenyans are not interested in affordable housing. And people are very unhappy about the taxation. And Mr. President, only a fool doesn't change his mind. Let us look this thing. And please, from the feedback I'm getting from the ground, and Mr. President, I was elected with you. I mean, it's my job to tell you what the people are saying. And since we are elected together on a joint ticket, when I see we are going down and I don't tell you, it is not fair. Then when we were just continuing, I think he took a phone, Itombe comes. And he said, Mr. President, we need to go. And I told Itombe, my friend, next time you interrupt me when I'm with the president, you know who I am. Get off. I am the deputy president. I was elected with the president here. Who are you to come and interrupt our discussion? Do you know what we are discussing? The president just looked and said, I think we go. Okay? So that is how I raised that issue. And I told him, Mr. President, how do you get these people to come and interrupt a meeting with your deputy all the time? So that those are the issues he was saying.
Well noted.
I was fighting with small people.
Just to take you back briefly, because we're stuck of time, how much did you fund President William Ruto's campaigns?
No, I will not go into that. It's not necessary. I don't think I need to go into the details because I was also a candidate.
Okay.
I did not necessarily fund William Ruto. I funded the campaign because I was part of the campaign.
Okay.
And I don't think I need to go into those details.
Then tell me this, when did the rain start beating your friendship? When exactly?
It's not friendship, Lily, but we went into a covenant with the president. And the president was here many times, here in this house, down, beaten, harassed, frustrated, and he would come here for comfort. And my wife would pray for him, and we went a long journey from 2018 all the way to 2022. And I believed him and I trusted him. And since I'm a man of honor, I took his word for what it was. And we agreed many things, but we never wrote anything down. And that is a mistake that I made, that I regret today. And my community, the Mount Kenya people, regret today. But they have forgiven me because William Ruto is very deceptive. To deceive Rigathi Gachagua is nothing because he deceived bishops, reverends, pastors, everybody, all of us, our own community, a very respectable community were deceived by one man. So I fell for it, and we agreed many things. And I went into it blindly. But as soon as we came in, the man changed completely. And all the things we had agreed, he became very arrogant. He said he's president. He said he'll do whatever he wants. And I can tell you where I started finding things are not right is we had agreed on several portfolios for my people because we had agreed, much as I'm a national leader and I'll be your deputy to assist you to manage the affairs of this country, I'll protect the interests of the Mount Kenya people in your government because they have elected you and they give you 47% of the vote. And it was agreeable. And all the things we had agreed in terms of portfolios, interior, agriculture, water, lands, finance, he honored all those things. But then he was very cunning. All my ministers from my region, he put PSs from his community under them. And after some time, my ministers told me they are flower girls. He would just work with the PSs directly without any reference to them. And I realized he had conned me and the community.
So that's when the issue started.
That is one of the issues.
Okay.
Number two, he keeps on saying people are tribal. He has accused me of tribalism. When we were appointing PSs, I asked him, since I was a public servant for a long time, we need institutional memory. These PSs are civil servants. Much as they served Uhuru Kenyatta, they are career civil servants. Mr. President, why don't we retain several of them, for continuity, instead of bringing everybody who is new. He said, no, hiyo watu wa Kwende, hiyo ni watu ya Azimio, ni watu ya Uhuru.
But there were some PSs who were retained.
No, let me explain.
Let
me explain, that's where I am. He said, wa Kwende hiyo watu, staki kuwaona, we'll get our own people, they will learn on the job. I said, Mr. President, we are new, me and you, we have just come. If we have new ministers, we have new PSs, the country must continue. Why, please, from my people, from my community, the region, I have 5-6 people I would like you to retain. And for you, as you can retain what? He said, no, sitaki hiyo watu. Then we are, okay, he overruled me, I kept quiet. Then we worked on it, and we agreed on the list. And we got all new people. Okay? And I went home.
All new people?
All new people. In agreement between me and him.
Okay.
I came here. At 7, the list came out. The list had changed. From his community, he retained 5 PSs. From his community, he retained Belio Kipsang. He retained Julius Koril. He retained Kipto. He retained Kimtai and Dr. Tum. From my region, he retained one guy called Hinga. I called him. I said, Mr. President, I requested you that we He told me, wewe Rigathi, wewe ni kupumbavu sana. Kama you want to be the appointing authority, my friend, you run for president, you can appoint the PSs you want. This is my government. Now ukwende. And he switched off the phone. That is, and when I hear him
that was
talking,
in 2022.
Yeah, 2022. That was the second month in government. So when I hear him talking about tribalism, that Rigathi Gachagua is tribal. When you look at the way he reappointed PSs from his community and chased away all of the other PSs from all the other communities, except his own community. When you look at the appointment of CEOs in parastatus, there are more than 60 from his community. And he talks about tribalism. You know, I've heard him saying, hatutaki ukabila. You know, hii Kenya ni yetu sisi wote. Sisi bana hatutaki ukabila. Munikubalie niunganisha wa Kenya wote. Hii Kenya ni yote sisi yote. Then more than 60 CEOs of parastatus are from his community.
Okay.
That is where I just realized things are not what I thought they would be. And when I tried to talk to him, he was very abusive. And I kept quiet because I didn't want to have a fight with him. I just, played along. And we just continued, And then along the way, he started purging people from my community. He wanted to get rid of the Commissioner General of KRI, Mr. Mburu. And I said, no, Mr. President, we agreed with you that 1 for 1. I mean, if you want to change Mburu because he was Uhuru's, you replace him with somebody else. He said, okay, no problem, let him go, we will replace him. When the replacement came, he took me around, he gave it to somebody else from another region. And like that. And then we went to Earth Water, he sacked somebody called Engineer Thoita. Okay. Like that, we went to the sports fund, he removed somebody. With the time I realized that he had, in a very calculated manner, having a purge on my people. And I started now fighting back. And I would face him and say, Mr. President, these people from this region voted for you, 47%. You will not be president without their vote. They are asking me questions that I cannot answer. The issue of pending bills, 900 billion. People came to me to see me. And I saw him, I said, Mr. President, for us to improve circulation of money into the economy, why don't we make the payment of pending bills a priority? Sema hiyo watu ni watu ya Uhuru bwana. Hiyo biashara walifanya kwa Uhuru, waende watafute Uhuru walipe. I said, my brother, that was a government that was legal. It was not an illegal government even if it was headed by Uhuru Kenyatta. Mm-hmm. The liabilities of government under President Uhuru Kenyatta are our liabilities. Money that we have borrowed from foreigners, we are paying. even if it was borrowed Uhuru's time. Even this money that our people have worked on, he said, no, wacha tufanye mambo yetu bana. And I just realized that the priority was to do new business so that people can have their cut. They didn't want to pay money for old business because they were not part of it. You know, those are some of the issues that started giving us problem and we went along.
And thanks for clarifying that, because people might wonder where exactly did the rain start beating. But I have to be the devil's advocate here, Your Excellency, because at the end of the day, the people who still associate you closely with the head of state, since you campaigned for him vehemently before the 2022 general election, and thereafter, that's when, you know, this working relationship was a little bit skewed. To those who equate your complaints the same way as they equate those of a jilted lover, that since you faced the axe, now it's obvious that you won't go around praising the head of state.
I didn't start saying I have a problem with him when I was asked. I started saying before. If you remember, on June 25, when policemen massacred our children, the president called a press conference and he did not invite me and say the agencies are criminals who are prisoners. The following day, as deputy president, I called a press conference in Mombasa. And I told him off. I said, these are not criminals. These are our sons and daughters. I had not been jilted. I had not been asked from office. I stood firm. And let me tell you, one of the issues I disagreed with the President William Ruto up to today, and I will never give in, was abductions and extrajudicial killings. I am a father. I am a Christian. I am a husband. I am a leader. I am an elder in my community. Children are our flowers. You cannot kill children because they're asking questions. And the questions they're asking are legitimate. That we are running down the country. That there is too much corruption. That we are not listening to the people. Those young Gen Zs were raising legitimate issues that I had personally raised with the president.
Allow me to interject.
And I can tell you, after that, he accused me of having been behind the Gen Z protest. Okay? And I said I was not behind the Gen Z's protest, but I associated myself with what they were saying despite being deputy president. So you cannot sit here and tell me that I have started raising these issues, you know, because we disagreed or because I left. You remember, in the Senate, there was an accusation against me that I had opposed evictions of people from Nairobi River. I raised that issue when I was deputy president.
True.
There was an accusation that I rejected the haphazard relocation of traders from Wakulima Market. I started disagreeing with the president a year ago. Our disagreement around October was the culmination of a whole year of total disagreement.
Okay, but I'll have to voice what critics say. At the end of the day, Warren Live lost during the 2023 Azimio protests. Did you speak vehemently against it?
No, that time, the first 1 year. The first 1 year.
Briefly, as we take a break, yes.
The first 1 year, I believed in the president. And you heard him excuse me that I was not defending government programs. Wewe kushasikia Rigathi akienda kwa TV kutetea housing program. Wewe umesikia Rigathi akienda kutetea education model. The first 1 year nilikuwa naenda, and there are clips. Until I realized the affordable housing is a fraud. It's a business venture between the president and DEFCI to sell cement, to sell steel, to sell mabati. I stopped defending it.
Well, DEFCI is not here to defend
No, he's not here, but I'm
Yes.
just saying.
Okay.
And I stopped defending it. And even the president tried to tell me to go to TV to defend the housing program. I told him I'll not go. When I learned the university model is not working, and it was very unpopular with the students and parents, I refused to go. So he wanted me to go and defend Adani, which is corruption. I refused to go and defend. He wanted me to go and defend Shah.
Okay.
And it's corruption, I refused.
But
you know,
my
and
question,
I am saying...
Allow me to ask you.
Yes.
Because my question is centered on the 2023 Azimio protests. Did abductions start in 2024?
They started in 2024.
They started in 2024?
Yeah. The real abductions, and I can tell you...
There's no fake abductions.
No, I'm just telling you, when it became clear to me. is when 101 officers from the administration police, on the authority of the president, were transferred to the National Intelligence Service and given very extensive training, is when we started getting people complaining that people are disappearing. And I went into it, and I started seeing signs that are not good signs. And I faced the president more than 3 times, and he feigned ignorance. But when I came to check, I found he knew what is going on. These abductions were being done by the National Intelligence Service. And I had a problem with them because I am a very straightforward man. And I spoke very strongly in the National Security Council. And I said, Mr. President, let us not treat the symptoms, but diagnose the problem. These young people, we need to find out why they are complaining. Killing them, abducting them, is not a solution.
Hold on to your thoughts. We take a short commercial break. Do stay with us. The Wamunyoro bombshell continues in just but a few.
Dear valued customer, at Kenya Power, we are committed to maintaining high standards of customer service, ensuring swift resolution of customer complaints. To report an incident, dial *977#. Select Report Incidences. Select the incident type. Select account type. Input the account number. Choose the cause of the incident and send. Upon completion, you will receive a reference number for the incident reported. You can also report power failure through My Power app, available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. When you contact Kenya Power with complaints, we shall either respond to you conclusively or provide a reference number for follow-up purposes within the stipulated resolution timelines. Try it today. Kenya Power, powering people for better lives.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy Guru Basmati rice 5 kg at 1,035 shillings. Daima fresh milk 500 ml at 44 shillings. Aerial machine wash powder 3 kg at 1,299 shillings. Aerial machine wash brownie 3 kg at 1,299 shillings. And Hisense washer dryer at 79,995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Dear valued customer, at Kenya Power, we are committed to maintaining high standards of customer service, ensuring swift resolution of customer complaints. To report an incident, dial *977#. Select Report Incidences. Select the incident type. Select account type. Input the account number. Choose the cause of the incident and send. Upon completion, you will receive a reference number for the incident reported. You can also report power failure through My Power app, available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. When you contact Kenya Power with complaints, we shall either respond to you conclusively or provide a reference number for follow-up purposes within the stipulated resolution timelines. Try it today. Kenya Power, powering people for better lives.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy Guru Basmati rice 5 kg at 1,035 shillings. Daima fresh milk 500 ml at 44 shillings. Aerial machine wash powder 3 kg at 1,299 shillings. Aerial machine wash brownie 3 kg at 1,299 shillings. And Hisense washer dryer at 79,995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, enriched with 95% pure vitamin C and pearl extract for visibly radiant and even-toned skin in just 2 weeks.
With all due respect,
I was just somebody has just sent me a text I saw during break from Rugoro Ward saying that they were amused by President William Ruto and lies, because when he spoke, he said that he is the one who built the road to Amonyoro. And somebody had just said, to the people, they are just laughing, he's such a liar. That road from a place called Marua, Gatunganga, State Lodge, Kiamariga, Karandi, Wawambui, Wamunyoro, Irori, Mukavuru, was funded by President Uhuru Kenyatta in the year 2019. I commissioned that road in the year 2020. And that road was constructed long before William Ruto was elected president. So the people of Wamunyoro and the people of Rugoro are saying he's such a great liar, and he should be doing his homework before he lies to people, because anytime they see him there, anasema ile mtu ni muongo sana. Now, I want to give you 3 things that we disagreed with William Ruto. And it's important briefly, because now that he spoke the other day trying to say that he disagreed with me because I wanted 10 billion, I think it's important now that I tell the people of Kenya. I had a serious disagreement with President William Ruto about Sudan. You know we have a problem in Sudan. There is a rebel movement called RSF. And the leader of that group is called Hemeti, has been the vice president of Sudan. So in 2023, William Ruto called me to his office and told me that diplomatically, a president can only invite a president to visit him, and he has a friend who is a vice president and he cannot invite him. So he wanted me to invite him on his behalf.
I recall you said this.
And he had a letter.
Yes.
I signed that letter, and Hemeti came, and we met, we discussed about Kenya and Sudan, but that was not the purpose of the visit. I took him to the president. Later on, I realized they are doing business. After some time, it became clear to me that the international community had placed international sanctions against Hemeti because of genocide, killing women and children, displacing people, and no other crimes against humanity. So President William Ruto called me again and told me to invite Hemeti again. And I told him, Mr. President, this is a butcher of women and children. And he is using our country, through your friendship, to bring gold from Sudan, clean it in Nairobi, take it to the Middle East, use the funds to buy arms to go and kill people in the Sudan. I told him, Mr. President, I am a father. I am a Christian. Just the way we are killing our children here through abductions, I cannot be party to what is happening in the Sudan, and I cannot invite Hemeti here because he's coming here to clean his gold here, sell it in the Middle East, buy arms, go and kill children. I said, I will not. He said, you must. You are my deputy. This guy is my friend. We are doing biashara. Do you know by him not coming here what I'm going to lose? I said, Mr. President, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to invite that man here. So you invite him yourself or do whatever you want. He said, wewe Rigathi umekuwa mjeuri. I am instructing you to sign a letter here to invite a vice president of a country. You say you cannot. I said, I won't. This man has international sanctions against him. This is a man who is butchering women and children, Mr. President. I'm a Christian. I'm a father. I will not do it. I went. Right alone, I learned my signature was forged to invite him. I went, I faced the president. I told him, if this man lands in this country on an invitation purportedly signed by me, I would disown him. So the visit was stood down. And then he told me, well, Taniona, I am tired of you. You are a very difficult character. You are the worst mistake I've made in my 35 years of politics. I regret having nominated you as my deputy. You are a very difficult character. I am president. I'm telling you to do, and you say you are blackmailing me that you are going to disown the letter. I refused. I want to say this. For the deaths occurring in the Sudan, the real commander of RSF is not Hemeti, it's William Ruto, because for a movement to succeed, it needs money. The money from gold is being cleaned through Kenya to buy arms, to go and kill women and children.
And you know my next question would be to substantiate these claims.
But I'm saying this guy was here, his movement was here the other day.
That's in the public
Listen,
domain.
no, I'm asking you. This man is international sanctions against him for genocide.
True.
He has been given a safe haven in Nairobi. He was here forming a government in KICC. That cannot happen without William Ruto. And I want to tell the international community.
But the claims of doing business...
No, everybody knows that he is selling gold through Nairobi. You may pretend not to know, or
I'm not pretending. Don't shoot the messenger.
Everybody knows.
I'm just trying to find out.
Everybody
claims that the president is doing business.
Everybody knows that why William Ruto is having relations with Hemedi through Nairobi is for the gold business. And the gold business, the proceeds are buying arms to butcher children and women. And I want to ask the international community, and I want to say I'm available to give evidence, and I want to tell the international community, it is pointless to levy sanctions against Hemeti. The person you need to levy sanctions against is William Ruto. And this thing of Sudan will be sorted out, because if there are sanctions against William Ruto, he'll stop entertaining Hemeti. Gold will stop being processed in Nairobi. There will be no money to buy arms to go and kill children and women. Number two.
How is this gold being cleaned in Nairobi? Because unless you were party to it, that's what I'm trying to find out.
I was deputy president.
So should we treat it as allegations?
I was deputy president.
Okay.
I know what goes on in this country. I have a lot of information. Even today, when I'm out of government, I have serious networks within this administration. There is nothing that goes on that I don't know.
Okay, we'll treat it as allegations. Proceed.
Again, another issue is Kosovo. Yeah? Very senior officers from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs came to see me because it had become apparent to everybody. Nobody in the cabinet can face William Ruto. I was the only person. So what was happening is that where people felt things are not going well, they would come and see me. They told me that internationally it is unwise for the Kenyan government to acknowledge or recognize Kosovo. And that will create us problems internationally. And they say, we want you to talk to the president, because none of us can talk to him because he's adamant that we need to recognize Kosovo, and it will create us international problems. And I went to see the president, and I said, Mr. President, senior officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have come to see me over this matter. And he was mad. He was in a rage. He wanted to know who they are. I said, I cannot tell you because you will fire them. But this is information. Please don't do it. It will soil our image. He said, go to hell. I am the president. I make decisions in this country. And if you don't like it, you can quit this government. And Rigathi, please keep off foreign affairs. Wefanya kazi yako ya naibu wa rais. I say, Mr. President, these are concerns that have been raised to me. This is about our image internationally. Yeah? And I think it is only fair that you listen to me. Only for me to come and hear is later that the president and the president of Kosovo are having a business deal in Mombasa, or a hotel in Mombasa.
Which hotel is this?
Let me give you the name. It's just it's escaping my mind.
Now we're talking. Okay.
It's escaping my mind. And so, because of commercial interests, yeah, by the president, commercial interest by the president, as a country now, you have heard what has happened. Zambia is up in arms. Yeah. Moscow is up in arms. Yeah. It's the Dolphin Hotel
in Mombasa.
The Dolphin Hotel. It's a joint venture between President William Ruto and the President of Kosovo. And because of the President's commercial and selfish interests, we are now in trouble with Serbia. We are in trouble with Russia. I mean, this is not right, you know. And he really hated me for raising that matter.
Okay.
And he was very bitter. Again, you know, he's also interfering with the DRC. And I can confirm that he is creating problems in DRC through involvement with M23 because of his interest in gold business in the DRC. And as the chairman of the East African community, William Ruto can also have a problem in this region because he is an interested party because of commercial interest. And that is why you found that our embassy in Kinshasa was attacked by the people of that country because of our involvement, you know, in the internal affairs of that country and involvement with the rebel movement against a legally established government.
Right.
So these are things that the president and I were disagreeing from time to time. Because I told him, you know, again, people from foreign affairs came to see me. I went to see him. Again, he really told me off, you know, and told me to keep off foreign affairs and leave it to him and the Minister for Foreign Affairs. I said, Mr. President, this has to do with the stability of our region. So I want to say to us, the international community, to put an eye on this country. We are not going to have peace and security in this region unless they rein in on the impunity of William Ruto and his appetite for commercial ventures in the region. Because of his appetite for commercial ventures, he is putting the country in an embarrassing diplomatic position and is endangering peace and security within the region. And these are things I raised with the president because nobody else could face him. Musalia cannot face him. Nobody else can face him. It's all trouble when they see him. Even when they know what he's doing is wrong, you know, nobody else can face him. And that is why he had to get rid of me because I was becoming an irritant. You know, every time there are issues, I raise it with him.
Okay.
And yeah.
So you've mentioned Dolphin Hotel, and we'll definitely try and look up at the ownership of that hotel.
Oh,
the DRC issue,
you'll never see it. It will be hidden. There's a lawyer called Adil. He'll have fixed the proxies. You will never get to it. But I've told you, yeah, let the president tell us that the president of Kosovo is not involved in that venture.
Okay, and just to clarify, the DRC embassy was attacked due to the president's statement when he said he had called Macron the president from France.
The real thing is his involvement. The real thing is his involvement in matters DRC and his dalliance with M23.
Where's the evidence? At the end of the day, I'm a journalist, so I'll have to try and.
You need to dig a little bit further. I've given you the angle. You need to do a bit more investigative journalism, and you'll come and tell me what I'm telling you is the truth.
Okay, so in retrospect, because you seem to corroborate with what the former CS Justin Muturi said in an interview last week Friday, if I'm not wrong, where he said the president is irredeemably corrupt and is unfit to lead this nation. So from where you see it, how much has Kenya lost due to these dealings by the head of state?
Well, Kenya has lost 38 billion shillings to Italians on Arol, Kimorel, and Itare Dam. President William Ruto says Muturi is incompetent. That is a lie. Muturi was a very competent Attorney General. He's a patriot. He is a hero to this country. President William Ruto had serious problems with Justin Muturi because he would never agree to give a nod to corrupt deals. Justin Muturi was ordered by President William Ruto to sanitize Arol and Kimorel, and he refused. And the president said the case between us and the Italians, we had a very weak case. And he told the president, no, we have a very strong case because these people never delivered anything, but they were paid 38 billion shillings. So we have a strong case. He said no. The criminal charges against those people were withdrawn by Nurdin Haja's DPP. And the president picked a team without Muturi to go to Italy, headed by his private lawyer Adil as chairman, Nurdin Haji and Kennedy Ogeto to go and sanitize Arol and Kimorel. And that happened. And Muturi was not involved, and the president was very bitter with Muturi. In fact, I heard him saying Muturi is incompetent. One day, I heard something. We were in a place called Kanyuambora on the 7th of August 2024. That is just after he had removed him as AG and appointed him as Minister for Public Service. So I heard him telling the Muslims that he had a very incompetent AG. You know, he has double speak. This is what he told the people of Kanyambora. William Ruto says different things depending on who he is talking to. When he wanted to please the Muslims of their issues, he says Muturi is incompetent. But when he was in Embu in Kanyambora, to please the people of Embu, he says something different. He says, asanteni sana watu wa Kanyambora kwa kunipatia huyu Justin Muturi. Amenisukumia sana mambo ya sheria. Sasa nimempatia kazi ya kunisimamia wafanyikazi wote nchini Kenya. He was saying how competent he is. One day, President called me and he was in a rage. Actually abusive. Wewe Rigathi, huyu mjinga mbere huyu naitwa Justin Muturi ni mjinga sana. Can you look for him? Umwambie I am his appointing authority, mimi ndio rais. I have called him. I have given him instructions to sign some documents and he is saying he cannot sign. You tell him kama utamuongelesha Kiembu, umuongelesha Kiembu kama ndio atasikia. Ya kwamba if he does not execute those documents, I want his letter of resignation akifika Nairobi.
This is while he was AG.
Yeah. I said, Mr. President, calm down. What is the problem? He said, hiyo mtu ni mjinga, mlevi, very incompetent fellow. Hii mtu uliletea, ulitoa hii mtu wapi? He was very quarrelsome. He was almost abusing me. So I said, okay, Mr. President, let me talk to him. I called Justin Muturi and the number was roaming. Yeah, AG, hey, where are you? He said, no, I'm in Dubai on transit. I'm coming from somewhere. I'm on the way back to Nairobi. I said, the president has called me and he's very bitter that you are disobeying him and there are things he has asked you to do and you are not doing. Why are you disobeying the president, Mr. AG? He says, no, president has asked me to sign them documents in the lobby of an international airport. Documents I have not seen. Documents I have not verified. Documents I have not authenticated. I mean, DP, how do I sign things that I don't know? And it's about $1 billion US. And these are things that I don't know. And these people, DP, I'm very unhappy. They called staff from my office. President is telling me, your people have worked on it, just sign. And nobody told me that they have called people from my office. I cannot sign. The president says you resign when you come. He said, no problem, I will resign, but I will not sign. Nikanyamaza. So nikaenda kutafuta president baadaye. Nikamwongelesha polepole nini huyu Muturi amesema ya bana hiyo mtu ni mjinga. That man, where did we get this man from? He's a very difficult character and he is really, sabotaging my programs. Hii ni maneno mimi nimepanga ya climate change, and now he is frustrating, I said okay, I left. So later on, after 3 weeks, Muturi came and to see me. He said, Muti ya nyumbani, hii kazi imekuwa ngumu. The thing the president was asking me to sign is a fraud. It's $1 billion US that is being brought to the country without going through the National Treasury, which is contrary to the PMF Act. This money is supposed to go to the Ministry of Environment without going through the National Treasury. I have done due diligence. The owners of that farm have criminal cases against them. And there are people who are involved in money laundering. And from my investigation, this is money laundering. I'm not going to do it. So I told the president what he has said. And he was very bitter. And you know what has happened? Since Justin Muturi refused that thing, the talk of climate change, for the last 1 year, you have not heard the president talk about climate change. That 1 year, 2023, he was talking about nothing else but climate change. It was a scheme for money laundering. We were talking about planting 15 billion trees. That deal for $1 billion US was supposedly to plant 3 billion trees. These 15 billion trees was a fraud to bring in money in a country for money laundering. And since Justin Muturi, who in my view is a hero for this country, refused, you have never heard for the last 1 year the Minister for Environment or the President talk about the 15 billion trees because it was scuttled by Justin Muturi. Again, the last one about Justin Muturi. Why he is a hero? We were in Naivasha. And again, the president was mad that Justin Muturi had refused to okay a purchase of land for industrial park. And the president, we slept in Naivasha, we were in a retreat. He called me to his suite, and he said, I want you to talk to this tribesman of yours. Na hii watu yako Rigiji wananisumbua kwa hii serikali. Hii watu ya mlima wananisumbua. Martha Koome ananisumbua, huyu Muturi ananisumbua, wewe saa ingine unaleta kichwa ngumu, niko na shida na nyinyi. Wewe ongea na Muturi, we want to buy 11,000 acres to jenga industrial park, tufungue Naivasha. Can you talk to him? I said, yeah, well, I look for Muturi. He said, no. I have told the president that it is illegal to get money from SFT. SFT is a settlement fund trust. That is money meant to settle the landless. He said it is not legally possible to use money for settling the landless people to buy land for industrial use.
Yes.
Again, he told me this land has not been procured competitively. I mean, how do you procure land for 8 billion shillings without any tender, without any due process?
So you're a single source.
How do I, as AG, do that? He said, I can't do it.
Okay.
Again, when we were in Kakamega for a cabinet meeting, he was again mad with the AG because the then CS Health reported Muturi to the president that he has refused to sign a cabinet memo for the 4 health bills. And the health bill, and I again talked to Muturi. He said those bills did not originate from my office. As Attorney General, all government bills must originate from my chambers, from the State Law Office. These bills were done in State House. I have no input. How do I append my signature to something I have not originated? So the fight between William Ruto and Justin Muturi is one, he refused to okay corruption. He refused to own bills that he has not originated, and he refused to be twisted by the president to allow money laundering in the country. And to me, again, the president is calling him incompetent, the way he called me incompetent, the way he called Uhuru Kenyatta incompetent. Anybody who doesn't agree to what he is saying is incompetent. The same with the Mithika Linturi. And I had a fight with the president, myself, because President William Ruto was Minister for Agriculture during the Kibaki time. During Uhuru 1, that is the first 2-3 years, 2013 to 2016, Felix Kosgei, the head of public service, was the Minister for Agriculture. So when Mithika Linturi was appointed Minister of Agriculture, the president and Felix Kosgei were running the ministry. Mithika Linturi was just a flower girl in the ministry. And I can tell you, they wanted to fix him about fertilizer. All fertilizer is procured at State House. Yeah? The president determines to buy from who, at how much. It is the president who does that with Felix Kosgei. So when they were trying to fix Linturi, when they brought bad fertilizer, and I'll give you evidence, the one that you want, because I think this is important. A company called Maisha Minerals and Fertilizers Limited. This is Defki, who is a partner of the president. He is also into fertilizer, and he is the one who imported bad fertilizer.
Okay.
So when the report came from KEBS, saying this fertilizer is bad, President William Ruto ordered Linturi to allow the fertilizers to come in and forget about it. Then they wanted to arrest Linturi and take him to court for this fertilizer. It is here. And I told the president, you cannot do that. You know, Mithika Linturi is innocent. It is yourself and Felix Kosgei who are buying fertilizer in State House. In fact, as we speak today, I want to tell the Kenyan farmers, today there is no fertilizer and the long rains are here. Because fertilizer has not been prepared. Because it's the president himself who does it. He decides from who at what price. And this has taken time. Okay?
All right.
And again, finally, the Russian government gave us 40,000 metric tons of fertilizer.
The donation.
It was given to this man called Maisha Minerals by the president. And another 30,000 metric tons from Algeria given to the same man. They blended and sold it to government. A donation from Russia, a donation from Algeria was processed and sold to the Kenya government at the same price that we were buying fertilizer from. And I would like you, now that I've told you, go and ask the Ministry of Agriculture. The fertilizer that came from Russia as a donation, which farmers were given free of charge? The ones that came from Algeria, which farmers were given free of charge? The president gave it to Maisha Millers, Defki, his friend, blended, packed, and sold to the Kenya government. They pocketed billions of shillings. That is why we are saying what Muturi was saying, it is true. You know, the president would speak in cabinet. Hey, mimi sitaki ufisadi katika serikali yangu. Na mimi, I will be merciless to anybody who is caught up in corruption. You know, people will just look at him because all the procurement in this government is done by William Ruto. In fact, in cabinet, behind the scenes, because nobody could speak openly except me and maybe Muturi, the president in cabinet, behind him, is known as the principal procurement officer of the Kenya government. All decisions are made in State House, in fact, even in affordable housing. All the contractors are decided in State House. In fact, let me tell you, these markets you are seeing.
As we finalize.
Let me tell you, these markets you are seeing.
Okay.
They are being built with money from the housing levy because we are not able to absorb money for the housing levy. And that is illegal, of course, because the money was collected for housing, but it's doing the markets. Why the president cannot agree to give this function to the counties? You know, markets are a devolved function. It's because of the procurement aspect. He is the one procuring the people who build these markets. And then when he finishes building, he gives them to the counties. I want to challenge President William Ruto. If you are not involved in corruption, President, make a decision tomorrow. This money for markets, transfer it to the counties. Let them procure, let them supervise, let them open the markets. You have no business, Mr. President.
All right.
Like now when he was in Central Kenya opening markets, he's not interested in the end product.
Okay.
His interest in this market business is the procurement aspect. And that is why, despite the fact that markets are a devolved function, the president cannot let go because he's micromanaging the procurement of markets for his own gain. He's the one who negotiates with the contractors. In fact, why the president has no time to fix this country. He spends most of his time on procurement.
Well, the president, of course, is not here to defend himself. Neither is Maisha.
No, you look for him and ask him these
do
questions.
Due diligence,
yes,
and
please.
definitely uncover, as is our work as the fourth estate. So, all things said and done, you seem to be hinting to the fact that commercial interests supersede the national interest.
Absolutely, this is a commercial government. The government of Kenya, led by President William Ruto, is a transactional government. It's a commercial government. Everything is driven by commercial interests.
Even while you
diplomacy, international relations, local issues, markets, roads, everything is commercial. E-Citizen, my friend, when we came in, the president was very mad that E-Citizen is in private hands. After some time, shares exchanged hands, and the president ordered that all government services be onboarded. He stopped talking about the private people. 70% of E-Citizen is owned by private people. Your guess is as good as mine. Ask Adil, he'll tell you who are the owners of E-Citizen, who is the owner of Lisa. Today,
so they're the ones benefiting from that 50 shillings.
That 50, any time you use E-Citizen, the Madrins at State House have your money. This government is a money-making machine. And there is no national interest. There is no concern for the people of Kenya. And we may reach a point we may ask the people not to pay taxes. Because it is a government, everything is an enterprise. You know, there is nothing that is being done for national interest.
Okay.
And everything starts and stops with William Ruto.
So we haven't been able to canvass one issue, and that's to reflect on the president's 5-day campaign-styled development tour. I hope that passes with you, because at the end of the day, there was so much tension before his visit. There was speculation that perhaps the ground might be hostile, but we saw the crowds in their numbers welcoming the president. Some leaders were jeered and booed, but that notwithstanding, critics argue that you might be losing your grip on the Mount Kenya region, that perhaps the decamping of the Maragua Member of Parliament, Mary Wamaua, is a writing on the wall of things to come. How would you respond to those?
Well, to start with, yes, the president was welcome in the mountain, and we asked the people to let him come and talk to them. I heard him saying he has a 20-year history with the people of the mountain. If that is true, he has not understood the people who are his friends for 20 years. If he had taken time to understand these people of the mountain, he would know that they hate betrayal, they hate deception, they hate lies, they hate being misused. And probably he had genuine friends, they would also tell him, when those things fall occur, there's no remedy. But the people of the mountain are very intelligent people.
Okay.
And they don't fight, they don't shout, they don't throw stones. They're just nice guys. And we agreed that we have a political problem with the president, but we also are very practical to acknowledge that he is president until 2027, God willing. And we must relate with him one way or another. And in our own way, because we know how to converse. We don't do it in public meetings. We are very silent. There was an agreement and understanding among the mountain people that our relationship with the president going forward is commercial and transactional. And the people of the mountain are business people. We said if anybody has some money to bring to us, we take it, because even when you own a shop, you don't have to like your customer. What is important is if he has money to pay you. So we asked our people, come out and welcome the president. You saw the number of buses, the mobilization, the borders, 3,000 each, the dancing women, 2,000 each.
Allow me.
There was too much. There was too much money.
Because there are claims of mobilizing financially. The president's men yesterday disregarded these claims.
No, that is okay. But you saw the clips. You saw people being coached what to say. You saw money changing hands.
I didn't see. That's what I'm asking. But you have the evidence.
I'll give you the clips. You have seen people saying we were promised 2,000, we were given 1,000. But we are saying it doesn't matter. The president is happy. He got good photographs. He got good options. And that is fine. He's welcome again in August. And if possible, let him come in December. We need him because we need money for Christmas. He's most welcome. The people of the mountain have made some serious decisions. Those decisions cannot be changed by anybody. They cannot be changed by anything. And we are not fighting. I am not fighting with the president for the control of the mountain. I heard he said he's the king of the mountain. Let him be the king of the mountain. And if he's the king of the mountain, he did not go around. He should have just used his chopper, go to the Lenana Peak and pronounce himself as king. If he wants to be the king of the mountain, let him proceed. About, I don't know, MP decamping from where? The people of the mountain don't follow leaders. It is the leaders who listen to the people and where they want to go and align. That is what I do myself all the time.
So she listened to the people and decided to decamp.
I'm saying, if that is what the people told her, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If that is what the people told her, it is fine. But what I know is that the people of the mountain are not led. They tell the leaders where to go. So if the president believes he has the ground in the Mount Kenya, he's the president. If he believes he's the kingpin of the mountain, so be it, as we are not bothered. All we know is that we have agreed on how to go politically. The people of the mountain have told me that we made a mistake to go to an election without our own political party. They have said that will never happen again. They have asked me to form a political party, a national one, which I have done, which will be announcing in May. That is what they have told me. Again, they have told me that they will not agree to be divided, and our vote will go to one basket. That has been agreed. Again, they have told me they are aware the president wanted to isolate us. And that is why he had a meeting in Mount Elgon, where the MP for Webuye announced where the president was there, that they will unite everybody to isolate the mountain. They are aware of that. And therefore they have told me to look for friends. And I'm doing that. And things are going on very well. About what will happen politically, that is a story for another day. Let's keep on observing.
Okay.
And are we asking the president? He came to the mountain. People of the mountain welcomed him. Nobody disturbed him. Nobody jeered him. Of course, his cronies had a very difficult time in Nyandarua and Lari and Githunguri. And why they had a problem in Nyandarua, Lari, and Githunguri, those three places are unique. Nyandarua is the home of the Mau Mau struggle. Lari is where we had the Lari massacre. Githunguri is where the independent church started. That's where the struggle for independence started. The people of the mountain had a big problem with the traitors and collaborators than the white colonialists. Because the collaborators and the traitors made them suffer a lot. The people of Nyandarua and Lari and Githunguri cannot stand traitors. That is why you saw that reaction.
Okay.
They didn't have a problem with William Ruto per se, in terms of showing that they are unhappy. But people who have betrayed the community, the people of Lari, the people of Githunguri, the people of Nyandarua could not hide their feelings.
And as we finalize on this, just briefly, you mentioned that the mountain has left the Kenya Kwanza administration, specifically the UDA party. To the rest of the country who are watching the masses and the claps and some instances of boos and jeers, does it poke holes into your submission that the mountain has truly left the mountain?
I don't know. That is subjective. But let me also tell you, even William Ruto,
yes,
where he sits, if he is honest to himself, he knows he was talking to his money. He was talking to his money, and a man can do what he wants with his money. He could have put the money in a big heap in State House and talk to it, or decide to take it to the people, give them, and put them together and talk to them. That is his decision.
Okay.
And he can come to the mountain. The meetings will be as big as he wants, depending on how much he wants to invest. The quality of the meeting, the clapping and the cheering, will be determined by what he wants to invest. We are business people in the mountain. We are commercial people. Our relationship with the president going forward is transactional, is commercial. And it is him to determine that relationship for now. How does he want to relate with the people of the mountain? There is only one thing that is not transactional in the mountain. The vote. That is never sold.
Okay.
But clapping, attending your meeting, saying sawa sawa, that one is, those are services that are freely available to anybody.
Well and good. As we finalize this chaos that erupted at a church service in Mwiki just yesterday, where you were in attendance, we saw a group of unidentified men storm the sanctuary, briefly halting the event, and they were demanding payment from you.
Yes, nobody was demanding payment. If you saw in the morning, even before we left for Mwiki, a blogger who blogs for the president had already indicated that we shall be having a problem for people demanding money. Okay, he had already said in the morning, and it is there. We'll show it to you.
Even before we went, he said that we are going to Mweki and people will come to demand there for their money. So the people who arranged the goons, the governor of Nairobi, they gave them a narrative to say that they're asking for money. I got this information the night before.
I have people right inside government, in police, DCI, National Intelligence Service.
And that's okay, but at the end of the day, we're looking for proof.
I am just saying, when I got that information, I've heard DCI saying that the police were not aware we were going. In the morning, I put a message to the DIG, because he's the one who told police not to attend. And I put the message at 8 o'clock, it is here. So he cannot say they were not aware because I told him. And I told him exactly who has arranged this violence. And I told him what his role is in the matter. And it is not the first time goons are being organized against me. If it was the first time, and they organized goons in Limuru, Today I've heard DCI say they are investigating. Limuru, it happened in November. Nobody has ever been arrested, despite the fact that the people are known and they were there in pictures. They attacked me in Shamata in December. An inspector of police who threw tear gas at me, he has never even been transferred. Yeah? In Nyeri, during the ACK, goons that are known were there. So what is happening is that the president has been cheated by his cronies here in the mountain. That the mountain can come back if you get rid of Rigathi Gachagua. He is the one who is inciting them. And if Rigathi is not allowed to move around to incite the people against you, you can recover the mountain. So let's do everything possible to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. For his information today, I want to tell President William Ruto, I don't need to have to go anywhere for me to talk to the people of the mountain. The people of the mountain have a way of communicating without going to a public rally. And decisions are made and agreed on, and that is what is happening. When you decided you are coming to the mountain, we communicated people to come out in thousands and pick your money, and that is what happened. I have a way of talking to the mountain people without going there. Probably he can lock me out of the rest of the country because I don't know how to communicate with those people. But for the mountain, it's an exercise in futility.
Okay.
And I said, when I was told, the people who told me were advising me not to go. They told me the gangs there will kill you. I said I will not cancel. If they kill me inside the church, because I'm a member of PCA, I'll be a martyr, and I'll go straight to heaven if I'm killed in church. And I said, I cannot run away. I'm not a coward. I'm a son of the Mau Mau. And when they came, I want to thank the Christians. The men did what we do in our community. They rise to defend the women and the children. The women and the children's comfort for safety, but the men joined with my people, fought off the criminal gangs.
So to the naysayers who might argue that, you know, and of course, chaos at the pulpit is unfortunate and something to be frowned
Not even
upon.
at the pulpit, anywhere, generally. Chaos are unfortunate.
Yes. So to those who might push a narrative that, you know, lightning just doesn't strike the same place twice, perhaps this is something set up to bring out the emotions of voters, to sort of bring the empathy, you know, to those who might say that this was stage managed.
That is a narrative by the government, and it's a stupid narrative. It cannot go anywhere. When we were attacked in Limuru, it was in broad daylight, everybody was there. They almost killed me in Limuru. When I was attacked in Shamata, everybody was there. President William Ruto used to say that there are no fools in this country. I don't know at what point he changed his mind. He thinks they are fools. You cannot fool all the people all the time. People know that the government is organizing violence against me, and the people who are unhappy with what is happening in the country. But I want to say we are not intimidated. We are not cowed. We'll stand firm. I have asked our people not to retaliate, but the young people are telling me now this is too much. And that is what happened in Wiki yesterday. And much as we have told our people not to, counter these gangs, I'm not sure that will happen anymore from what happened yesterday in Wiki.
Okay.
They'll be countered because really, if the police do not want to keep law and order, the Deputy Inspector General of Police is the one who told the police to keep off. I've heard DCI saying that they were not aware. They were told not to keep off, and they called us, policemen from Wiki. We are told not to come. So if the police do not want to keep law and order, if you want this country people to take the law into their own hands, there's nothing we can do as private citizens. Even I was told when we had this interview, the local member of parliament back home there was saying he'll organize goons to attack my Wamanyoro home to distract the attention of the people from this interview. If they want to attack my home in Wamanyoro, let them go ahead. They can touch the house, they can do whatever they want to do. My former PA, who now works for the president, was even saying that he'll organize people to attack my businesses in Nyeri town. They can go ahead and do whatever they want to do. What I know is that our people have made certain decisions. Those decisions will not be changed by them harming me, by them burning my house, by them burning my property. It will just solidify the resistance in the mountain. It will just harness the rebellion in the mountain. And the more they do it, the worse it becomes. Whatever little gain the president may have made in that trip was cancelled yesterday when goons attacked us in charge.
Okay.
The people of the mountain are very Christian, and they believe in God and the sanctity of places of worship. By government sending people, and the conversation in the mountain last night was, this reminds us of Kiambaa Church. The impunity. When goons, when 35 women and their children were in a church in Kiambaa, and goons went and touched them inside the church. And when they tried to save the children, they say, let us die, but let the children not die. They removed the children through the window. These goons took the children back to the church and burnt them. What happened yesterday, the message it has sent to the mountain, is that the same people who had the impunity to burn Kiambaa Church and people inside are back, and we are noting, we are observing. And it has brought a lot of emotions. These are wounds that people wanted to be healed and forgotten. These are some of the things that our people had forgiven, but they have brought them back. The minute you attack, you said goons inside a church to kill Rigathi Gachagua and to kill Christians, you automatically bring the memories of Kiambaa Church and what these people did to our community in Kiambaa.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll definitely try and reach out to the Madeira Member of Parliament, Wamombi, to get his side of the story, because you've made allegations touching on him. But briefly, your analysis of the relationship between the church and the state as we finish off on this matter, because you were part of the Kenya Kwanza administration that used the church to rise to presidency. You've said previously, as you were deputy president, that the church and the state are the same thing. You take care of the same people. So do you hold the same views in regard to...
Yes, we do, and that is why the church, as the conscience of the nation, must also be left to play a role. Now that the government has captured the opposition, now that the government has captured parliament, the church must speak for the people, you know, because we serve the same people. And they also want the improvement of the welfare of the Kenyan people. So let the church speak. Let the church be allowed an opportunity to comment on what is going on. Let us not, you know, persecute the church, because I had some politicians saying, let the church leave the politics to us. There's nothing like that. Okay. The church leads people. All these things is about the people. It's only that people play different roles, but it's the same people. The welfare of the Kenyan people is important to everybody, from the state to the church. And people must be allowed to comment freely. And what we saw yesterday is interference with the freedom of worship. Okay. And I want to ask our young people, especially from our community, don't take little money and harm your brother and sister. You know, it's unfortunate that these people, the government is taking advantage of people who are not employed to really misuse them and give them money to harm other people, destroy property. I would like to plead with our young people. Much as I know you are jobless and you are having problems, there is still an opportunity where you can earn some money without hurting somebody else, without destroying property, without creating chaos, without creating mayhem. Right. There is still that opportunity.
The clarion call has been received. So, in terms of freely commenting, I'd like you to react to a comment by the CDF General Charles Kahariri, who not too long ago questioned the Ruto must go chance in reaction to the digital space being used for digital dissent. Not too long ago, equally, we saw the Inspector General of Police during a political gathering. He spoke briefly away from politics, but his presence spoke a lot. He mentioned that he was there for security, to plan the security ahead of the president's visit in the region. But if you put these two things together, as much as the police is independent and the military should be apolitical and not suppress the freedom of speech, don't you think that this Ruto must go chance can actually incite an unconstitutional action?
I don't think so. Ruto must go is a clarion call for preparing people for the general election. Moi must go was there. Moi was not even a candidate in 2002, but it was there because he had a project. That did not lead to any unconstitutional change of government. I think people are just gearing towards the election, and our constitution guarantees the freedom of expression, freedom of speech. If you feel dissatisfied with the performance of William Ruto and you say he must go, you have committed no crime. you will be able also to express yourself on the ballot. What the CDF said is very unfortunate. You know, the military is most trusted institution in this country, and our military is very professional and is respected. That is why you find we have been called to oversee peace missions by the UN, by the AU across the world for years, you know, because our military has been very, very professional. That's why you find even when the military came to the streets during the Gen Z were marching with the soldiers because they have confidence in them. I don't want to advise General Kahariri, but I having worked with the President William Ruto, I want to tell him to be very careful. I saw the way IG Japheth Kome was set up by President William Ruto during the Gen Z protest. He set him up, go and say this, go and say that, go and say this. And then when there was too much pressure, he called him in my presence and asked him to resign. Probably the general has been told, go and say this so that there is public backlash, and probably prepare a way for his exit. I am not sure, but let him be careful because I know President William Ruto. IG Kanja spoke in Kikuyu in Nyeri asking people whether they are happy that the president has come. He has no business as IG to go and market the president in Nyeri or elsewhere. That is not his work. And even if he was here to keep security, that also begs a question. How insecure was the president that he needed the IG himself to be in charge of his security detail? It has never happened. I see the regional commanders take charge of the president when he is in a region together with the presidential escort commander. I've never seen an IG take over, the security of the president, unless you tell me that the president was having a serious challenge in Nyeri. What I know is that Douglas Kaja was tricked by Mr. Yesa to come on top of the vehicle and speak so that they can set him up for public backlash, so that if they want to exit him, they have somewhere to start. That's the way they did to Japheth Kome. I want to ask IG Kaja, I want to ask General Kahariri, be careful. The president has been a purge of people from our region. Probably you are being set up, and you be careful. Be very measured in what you say. Remain very professional. Please don't allow the president, don't give him an opportunity to find a reason to exit the two of you, because I know him and I know what he's up to. I have seen the way he's going. The other day, he removed our 5 chairmen, Dede Nyoro, Wanjiko Mohea, James Gakuya, everybody. He removed John Methel, he removed Nyoto, he removed Murango, he removed Karungo Thangwa, and replaced them with people from Western, people from Nyanza, people from Coast. The president, since he removed me, has just been removing everybody. And one of the things we used to disagree with him, I will never allow him to remove our people. And since now there is nobody to defend, because his assistant has confirmed publicly that he has confirmed publicly. So he cannot fight for the mountain people. The president will do whatever he wants. So General Kahariri, IG Kaja, please be careful. Don't set yourself up for slaughter, because I can see when I look at the public outrage, probably the president has just tricked you to make some funny comments so that he sets you up for slaughter. Just the way he had told me to talk about the shareholding, he set me up and then used the whole thing to exit me.
So he told you to talk about
he's the one. He is the one who had told me, wewe hii maneno ya watu wetu wale walitupigia kura, wewe pigia debe, wewe pigia hao debe. Then he used the same thing to set me up. So I think General Kahariri, Kanja, I think the president is setting them up. Let them be careful.
Okay. I'd like to pick a few questions from our viewers as we conclude our conversation right here. One of them being that, and I think they're reflecting from what one of the president's men said yesterday, because he was asking, how can you lead a country yet your statements are divisive? One of our viewers is asking that he's heard so much about the mountain and not about Kenya in general. So they seem to be putting you in that tag of a regional kingpin, yet you're playing in the national politics space.
Let me tell you. William Ruto is a master of false narratives. He created a narrative against Uhuru Kenyatta that he's a drunkard. He created a narrative against Raila Odinga that he's a witch doctor. He is creating a narrative against Rigathi Gachagua that he's a tribalist. When I fought for Gen Zs, they were not from the Mount Kenya. When I went to northeastern Kenya to give food during El Nino, those people were not from Mount Kenya. I speak for the Kenyan people, but I also come from somewhere. And there are some people who expect me to stand up for them. And again, my brother, when these people go to meetings, they say that they'll gang up and isolate the people of Mount Kenya. What do they expect me to do? They expect me just to keep quiet and let them isolate Mount Kenya? When the president is purging the people from the community, they expect me just to keep quiet and let him purge the people from the community so that I'm seen to be national? I am a nationalist. When I talk about the payslip holders, when I say the president has raided the payslip and a new administration that I'll be part of will restore the dignity of the payslip, is that about Mount Kenya? When I say Kenyans are being overtaxed, is that about Mount Kenya? You know, this brand of trying to brand me as a tribalist is William Ruto. You saw him trying with the Eden Duale, trying to create a wedge between me and the Somali community. Simply because I said, Nuruddin Haji is not doing his job properly. They try to create a narrative that I have something against the Somali. Let me tell you, the Somali community and our people are one. We are business people. If you go from Thika here, Sagana, Karatina, Narumoro, Nyanyuki, Meru, the Somalis are everywhere. If you go to Isili here, the Kikuyu community and the Somali community are one. And we work together. And myself, I do business with the Somali community, you know. And there is no way the people of Mount Kenya can survive business-wise without the Somali community. But simply because I talked about one individual, they try to say that I have something against the Somali community. I'd like to assure the people of the Somali community, yourselves and the people of the mountain are one. We are business people. And by the way, the Somali community are good people. You know, they are trusted. You don't even have to write anything. These things I had agreed with William Ruto. If I had agreed with the Somali, I would not be here in this position today. They would keep their word. So that narrative of trying to say I'm tribal is William Ruto. And that is why you see, when he went to the mountain, if he was a man enough, why didn't he talk about me anywhere in any meeting? Why didn't he start in Kirinyaga or in Embu and say Rigathi Gachagua is a tribalist? He wouldn't. Because the people know, when you say Rigathi Gachagua is tribal, you are actually fighting the people of the mountain.
All right, all right.
How come President William Ruto is cheating the people of the mountain that he has a 20-year friendship with them, yet he superintended over a meeting where the Honorable Wanyama said the people of the mountain should be isolated. William Ruto was the last speaker. How come he did not admonish him and say that is wrong? And then he's here cheating the people of the mountain that he is their friend, yet he is the one who is very busy, you know, crafting a narrative, you know, trying to get 40 versus 1, what he did to the people of the mountain between 2005 and 2007. Because the Pentagon, William Ruto was the most active person of mobilizing all other communities against the people of the mountain.
Okay. So your claims on the president's commercial interest in DRC seem to leave more questions than answers. A couple of viewers are asking that Rigathi hasn't told us who Ruto is working with in M23 because the rebel group is part of the Congo River Alliance. Is there any other president in the region that is working with Ruto to extract gold from?
I will not talk about presidents of other federal countries because it's not right for me to do so. I'll talk about my president whom I elected and whom I have a right to criticize and to tell the people of Kenya who he is. I will not talk about other presidents. I will just talk about President William Ruto because he is accountable to the people of Kenya, I being one of them.
So how is the president involved in these gold dealings in DRC?
He has been having meetings with M23. And that
so
is
having
why,
meetings substantiates...
What do you think? What would you be discussing?
It could be a peace process.
What peace process?
I mean,
how can you do a peace? How can you do a peace process outside the Uhuru arrangement?
The Luanda,
yeah. I mean, let him work through President Uhuru Kenyatta. President Uhuru Kenyatta is leading the peace process. Why is he having a parallel engagement with the M23 if there is nothing sinister?
Someone else is asking, do you believe the president is sincere in sending Raila Odinga to ease the tension in South Sudan, considering that you doubt Ruto's take on Sudan?
Well, I talked about the Sudan, not Southern Sudan.
Oh, yes. Now he's asking.
But I don't know. William Ruto are two different people. What he says in public, what he does in office in private are totally different things, you know. And in fact, most people who came to the mountain, like 20% wanted to see whether he's the same person who used to come and talk to them. Because all the things he told them, he has done the exact opposite. You know, he went to a place there in Laikipia West to open a classroom done by KDF. But the cost of going there, 9 choppers at a cost of about 4 million shillings, more than 200 vehicles. You know, the personnel, the per diem, the whole thing would have put up about 5 schools. You know, people are just looking at him. You know, he went to Nyanyuki, you know, market, and the market was closed from morning to evening to wait for him. What used to happen during the Moi era. And he was not coming to do anything because he's not an engineer, he's not an architect, he's not anything. You know, when he went to Meru, you know, to open a sewage that he had opened 7 years ago in Maua, instead of going to Nithi Bridge and giving a practical solution, because that is what he promised the people.
Well, he said before the 2027 election it will be done.
But he had said 6 months. And he should stop telling people about to have faith in him. He made promises. You know, if somebody, you know, lets you money and you say you pay by this date, if for whatever reason you cannot pay by that date, you give him a good reason. But you don't get irritated when he says you are dishonest. You know, William Ruto is saying that we should believe in faith. That since he said you do it, we should have faith that you do it. No. Leadership is about being pragmatic, it's being practical. He is the one who set the timelines. Nobody set for him. When he said he would do Nithi Bridge within 6 months of being sworn in, he's the one who gave that commitment. He should have gone back to the people of Meru and said, hey, I made a commitment for 6 months. It's not possible. Now he's saying he will do it before 2027. What the people are saying, not just in the mountain, but across the whole country, you know, they are saying, don't say it anymore, just do it. You know, and they are saying, do what Mwai Kibaki did. Don't come to inspect projects. Don't come to launch. Do it, finish, then come. Mwai Kibaki, when he did Thika Road, and it was done, you know what he did? He just drove through the road to Othaya. Yeah, no fanfare, nothing. Just to see and enjoy that the road is smooth. Let all these projects be finished. Yeah. Then when they are finished, he can come and launch. You know, he went to a place to launch, 4 posts in a pickup. You know, I mean, what is that? Transformers. Those are things that the assistant county commissioner can do, because the cost of moving a president, my friend, the cost of moving a president, it's so enormous, and in what he is launching, his movement surpasses. Yeah, the actual cost of what he's going to see. You find that this cost of this trip that he did in the mountain is in excess of 1 billion shillings. Yeah, that money would have finished most of the projects that are stored when he is sitting in the road.
That, but anyway,
we are looking at it. We know the cost of the choppers, the cost of the vehicles, the per diems, the money that was fed for buses, the one for giving border guys, the one for giving women and dancers is in excess of 1 billion shillings.
Then let me ask you this. Because the president said during the Mount Kenya tour that the people will examine all of the politicians in 2027. He added that he will be ready for that political test since he's preparing for it through the actualization of promises that were made. 2.5 years plus some change down the line in this Kenya Kwanza administration. How far are we in actualizing the promises that you and President William Ruto made to the Republic of Kenya? I'm not part of government.
You can ask me that question. I'm not part of government. Me, I can just tell you that most of the promises have not been kept, and the people are angry. And even when I was in office, they were telling me, and I'll raise the matters with him and he'll be very offended.
But are Kenyans being too hard on the president? You yourself said you found a dilapidated economy. At the end of the day, the expectations are so much, but the reality
but
is
you see the problem.
The finances
that I thought was the position. But when I saw the money was available the way it is being used, like now, the other day, supplementary 2, we gave 10 billion shillings to the National Intelligence Service, purportedly to restore peace in the region. And the president is the one who is causing problems in the region. But that money is not for restoring any peace. That is money for the president, is what he is using for campaigning. That is money that is meant for development. 10 billion through the list is what the president is drawing. And they drew a lot of money that 1 week through accounts held by National Intelligence Service. We have people everywhere, cash money, and it's going for that. So what we are saying is, whatever little money that is available, People want to see something. People are being overtaxed, but they are not seeing a corresponding service that will match the taxation. People ordinarily wouldn't have a problem with paying taxes, but people would also want to see their taxes are being used appropriately. So when they see you with 9 choppers going to open 1 classroom in Laikipia West, people feel very offended, extremely offended. You know, when they find the money meant for taxes is being used to bribe people to attend meetings, people get very offended. But they still take the money because the money is already out there. In any case, even if they don't take it, it will be taken by somebody else. But taxpayers are very, very, very offended by what is happening, the misuse and misappropriation of resources that are meant for development, that are meant to improve their lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we finalize, because we've definitely bought into the prime time and we were supposed to conclude a little bit earlier. You mentioned that in May you will be launching your political party, that all things are ready, considered, and it's just waiting for the launch. For those who might question that, you know, you still have an impeachment hanging over you and you're locked out of office, what exactly is the end goal? And the last time we were talking here, you said that you could force a mini general election. Is that still in the plans?
The matter of the impeachment is before courts of law. The matter is fairly straightforward. The MP say they voted me out because I said they will lose their seats. So there was nothing constitutional. The president says I was voted out because I wanted money from him. If I wanted money from the president, there's nothing unconstitutional about it. So it's very clear, really, that there was nothing, you know, and I'm sure the judges have taken judicial notice of these pronouncements. You know, that all the MPs are saying they had to get rid of me because if they don't get rid of me, I will get rid of them. So I believe the law will take its course. But as I told you, the right to vie for office is absolute, is protected in the Constitution. And our Constitution is very clear that you cannot be barred from running for office until you have exhausted the available remedies in law. That is fighting your case all the way to the Supreme Court. We have not even started, you know. So if the matter is not concluded before 2027, I'll fight for whatever office I want to fight for. If I want to fight for president, I believe I'm qualified. If I want to be whatever, I'll do whatever I want to do. And that matter is being used by my opponents to tell people on the mountain, don't follow this man, he cannot run for office. I don't have to run for office. I have a responsibility to unite my people, to make them relevant in the national political discourse. I have a responsibility to craft a political party, a political vehicle for the region so that they can participate in a meaningful manner in a general election. I have a responsibility to mentor young people, which I'm doing. I don't have to be in office. You know, my friend, you know, many people think about positional leadership. You know, leadership is defined in many aspects. You have positional leadership, you have charismatic leadership, you have traditional leadership, you have effective leadership. I am in effective leadership. Today, how do you explain I'm not the deputy president? I hold no office in this country. Every talk, in every meeting, the whole country is about Rigathi. You cannot talk a man. Everybody is talking about a man who is nothing, who has no influence, who is not a leader. How come? The president himself called a press conference to discuss me. All his people discuss me every day. If you look at the headlines, they just talk about Rigathi. Because Rigathi is a leader. He is a movement. He has people behind him in millions. And whether he has a position or not, is that he is a leader, because a leader is somebody who has followers. And if I had no followers, nobody would be bothered about me. That is why they disrupt my meetings, because they don't want me to talk to people. Because they know, one, I'm persuasive.
Okay.
I have powers of oratory. I have a way with the people. I have the language with the people. I am convincing. And I have effective leadership. And I carry people along with me. And I've just said to you what William Ruto talked about me. What he said then, that is the true Rigathi Gachagua. What he is saying today, and something I was saying, he said, and he said, that's why you see William Ruto is a pathological liar. He said, I will not allow my deputy to be disrespected, particularly by junior staff. Disrespected or humiliated, and I've committed myself in writing. That is what exactly he did. These people he's saying I was fighting, he's the one who was sending them to disrespect me. And you know, they would come from his chopper, they abuse me. They are standing on top of his vehicle, they abuse me. You know? Even I was looking today at the issue of Moses Kuria. Moses Kuria is one of our most bright leaders from the Mount Kenya region. And today he's in problems. When Moses Kuria was Minister for Trade, he is the one who started the county aggregation and industrial parks. A brilliant idea. Since they removed him from there, that project is stuck. And when I asked President why he's sacking him, he said that he's a thief. You know? So today I'm wondering, I have seen Moses Kuria is being auctioned. If Moses Kuria had stolen anything from anybody, how come he has nothing? He has no money to pay his debts, you know? And I knew, you know, the issues that took place in Kenya National Trading Corporation, KNTC. The procurement was done in State House. And when they brought edible oil and rice and there was a scandal, they wanted to push it to Moses Kuria and another lady called Pamela who has been taken to court. And they have used this thing to intimidate Moses Kuria, that they can open, trumped up charges against him. But I really want to ask a question. I was asking myself, if the way the president told me he removed Moses Kuria as minister because he was corrupt, how come today that Moses Kuria, today the court allowed these things to be auctioned? If he had money he had stolen from the ministry, he would be able to pay his debts. Again, the president did not want any leader from the mountain who has a brain, who is principled, and who can do anything. That is why he got rid of Rigathi Gachagua, Moses Kuria, Methekali Nturi, Justin Muturi.
But you're talking about Moses Kuria, who's the economic advisor to the president.
I am saying you cannot remove.
So he's not getting rid of.
You cannot get a man as minister and make him an advisor. That is a joke. You know, it's like chasing away a wife and making him a maid in your house. You know, it's very disrespectful.
Okay.
But I want to say,
yes,
Moses Kuria, you cannot replace Moses Kuria with William Kabogo. It's an insult to the people of Kiambu and the people of the mountain. Moses Kuria is a brilliant mind, and I can tell you this idea of KIPES that Moses Kuria came up with. Had the president allowed him to stay as minister for investment, trade, and industry, today those things will be working, and we will not be having the situation we are having with avocado, with carrots, with potatoes. Yeah, but because he's a brilliant mind, yeah, he had to be edged out and given some peripheral job there who advised me on this and that. And Moses Kuria cannot advise William Ruto. William Ruto takes no advice. William Ruto advises William Ruto. When you hear that you are presidential advisor, you just get a salary and know what to do. He cannot listen to any advice from anybody.
Tell me this. Are there any commercial interests in Haiti deployment? Because we've definitely seen a couple of casualties and there was some progress at the initial phase, but it seems the gang-related violence might be surging in Haiti.
I sat with the president when he made a decision to take our policemen to the Haiti. And as a former security officer in government, I did persuade my boss that I found it inappropriate and unnecessary. And Donald Trump has taught us a big lesson, that America first. What is the point of us going to help the people of Haiti when we have security challenges in this country? We have problems in the North Rift. We have problems in Wajir. We have problems in Mandera. We don't have enough policemen, yeah, to help our security situation in the country. Again, we voted funds in the National Treasury when most of our police stations have no vehicles, when our officers have no uniform. What is the point of trying to look so international to take our force to take our officers to Haiti when we have serious challenges in the country? And I think the president told us that time that the whole thing will be done by the United Nations. But I still find them appropriating money in the budget for Haiti. But he gave us a promise that we are not going to spend a cent. But I still had a problem. I told him, Mr. President, even if we are not going to spend a cent, I would rather these officers help our people here in the country, because we have serious security challenges and we don't have enough officers. So, to me, the whole thing was misguided. It was unnecessary. And I think the former ambassador to the US, Meg Whitman, was very close to the president. I think she's the one who persuaded him. And because the president that 1 year wanted to look very international, to be everywhere and to look as the new guy on the space, he was willing to do anything to get an international image. The whole thing was misadvised. It was unnecessary. It has backfired. Mr. President, please, only a fool doesn't change his mind. Cancel this thing. Let our boys and girls come back home so that they are safe and they can also take care of their motherland. Just the way America is doing. They are saying America first. Ushughulike mambo yako kwanza. Wewe unajifanya mjuaji atikwenda kusaidia Haiti na hapa nyumbani police stations have no vehicles. I heard these MPs who are there telling the president we have no vehicles. These ones who follow him, Yet money, 2.5 billion has been allocated to Haiti. Why can't we have that money to purchase vehicles so that they can be able to do patrols, they can be able to do maneuvers, they can be able to secure our country and make sure our people are in peace and they are secure.
Okay. In conclusion, Rigathi, all things said and done, major pronouncements have been made by you. You've substantiated some of these pronouncements. Others remain as allegations. But to the Kenyan who's watching back at home, who might be balancing between trusting a man who worked closely with the head of state or trusting the head of state himself, who you've castigated vehemently, what do you tell the ordinary Mwananchi, not just the Wanjiko, but the Mora, all across the country?
The people of Kenya knows between Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto who lies. It's obvious. Instances are there. All the things he has said he'll do. He said that when he becomes president, he'll give free diapers to the people of Kenya. Nothing. He said he'll supply gas cylinders to every home. He has not. He said he'll put money into people's pocket. He came and took the little that was there and took it to housing. He said there will be no abductions and extrajudicial killings. It is happening. He said he'll not interfere with the relations of friendly countries. He's interfering. He said he will not use the criminal justice system to manage politics. He's using DCI to harass Kadhoni wa Mushomba, to harass everybody. Everything that he told the people of Kenya he'll do, he has not done.
It's not everything. Aren't you throwing the baby with the bath?
There is nothing. There is the only thing.
Top of my head, the hiring of teachers.
The hiring of teachers against the law. Teachers are supposed to be hired by the Teacher Service Commission. The women rep for Murang'a publicly said that these forms are issued in the State House. So the president is hiring teachers because he's the one who is hiring teachers. I've told you, he's doing all the procurement. He's the chief finance officer. He's the chief accountant. He's the chief employer. Even as we speak today, they are trying to change the law to take over the functions of the Public Service Commission and give them to Felix Kosgei as head of public service so that he can employ people from State House. The Constitution says to change the functions of the Public Service Commission, you need a referendum. But through a back door, they want to remove the powers of the Public Service Commission, transfer them to the head of public service, so that just like he has hired all the CEOs from his community, all other public appointments will be managed by his tribesmen and he'll hire his community. So we are saying all the things that he said he'll do. He said there will be no tribalism. He is practicing it. He's accusing us of articulating it. Me, I have said, take care of my people. I have done nothing about it. Him, he is actually doing it. Doing it. I want you to go and look at the list of the CEOs of parastatals, my friend. Yeah? Just look at it. And tell me,
wouldn't you do the same?
No. I'm saying, even if I did, I would not pronounce myself that I don't do it. Me, I have said I fight for my people. I don't hide about it. Him, he says, he is for the whole country. I don't want tribalism. All of us are part of Kenya. This is broad-based. But the actual implementation of appointments is skewed towards his community. And it's in black and white. And he does not even pretend about it, by the way. He doesn't pretend about it. So I am saying between me and William Ruto. Don't even ask me that question. Ask the people of Kenya. They know who is lying, who lies every day, and people are tired of these lies. And you have heard everywhere, wanasema ni uongo, uongo, uongo. And there is nothing the Chief of Defense Forces can do about it. There is nothing the Director General of NIS can do about it. They just have to let the people of Kenya be.
All right.
Kenya is a democratic country. There is freedom of expression. If people say Ruto must go, General, there is nothing you can do about it. If you want to help the president, sit him down and tell him to correct the issues that have annoyed the people of Kenya and why they are saying he should go. Don't treat the symptoms, treat the disease. Find out where is it that the president has lost the people of Kenya. Why is it that a man who was so popular 2.5 years ago, a man people believed in, everybody now is saying he should go. And if you go to social places, everywhere in the whole country, you know, they were trying to say it's a mountain issue. It is not. It is across the whole country. The other day, they were here in the Nyayo National Stadium. The people from the mountain don't go to watch football. It's the people of Western, the people of Nyanza. The whole stadium was just saying Ruto must go. You saw the other day in Kisii, when the Shabana meeting. If you go to all these nightclubs at night, in Kisumu, in Nakuru, in Mombasa, the chant is the same. And there's nothing the general can do. You just let the Kenya people be, allow them to express themselves. And the way the president said, and if he means it is good for the country, he said that he'll subject himself to a test. And if the people think he has done a good job, they allow him to continue. If they think he hasn't done a good job, he'll go back and do farming. Mr. President, that is the spirit. So don't abduct young people when they say you should go home. Leave them alone. Because you have said yourself that you are willing to go home if you don't perform well. So these people who are criticizing you, let them be. If it's Rigathi Gachagua, he is doing his politics, stop sending goons to harass him. You know, don't disrupt his meetings. Just be true to what you said, that you are willing to subject yourself to a test by the people of Kenya, and you'll accept the results. But don't harass people who are of the opinion that you have not done a good job and you should go home.
All right,
just leave them alone.
Okay, well noted. That's a parting shot. A good place to end this particular conversation. Thank you so much, Rigathi Gachagua, for your time, for your input in this deliberation we had right here. And we'll definitely look upon you to substantiate some of those allegations that you've made in the full of time. Asante sana.
Asante.
That's how we wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're adequately informed. Ashley Mazuri, back to you in studio.